GE Pantheon when they have Kephrii, and he's going to be in, boys and girls. It is going to be the Water Kephrii duo, because what other teams have a player like this who is almost a pure Widowmaker specialist? How do you practice against someone like that when most teams do not have that? You can practice against Doomfist. You can practice against what they run with Spanik, because other teams will run Doomfist. You cannot practice against Kephrii because no other teams are running a specialist Widowmaker. And now it's do or die again. Somebody has to win here, somebody has to lose, and it will all come down to this.
And the thing that's incredible, Blue's actually come out here on a Widowmaker of his own. He is very fast going to find himself on the other end of Kephree's scope by
We'll see about that.
Yeah, we will certainly see. And actually, it's going to find himself at the far end of some Pharaoh rockets from water.
Oh,
hey,
boy.
Trades that one out. Nexus also finds Medic. Inhiok does follow up on that kill. But that's not the ideal direction for the tanks of GE Pantheon. Without Medic as well, backwall solo healing, Kephrii would have to pop off, and they know that they need to play a bit more conservatively with sightlines.
That's the thing. It's a confident statement. It's saying that even though I lost a couple of duels on Route 66, it's a new map. I can take it to them. And if you're going to go down, you're going to go down swinging. And that's assuming they do go down. Right now, it is going to be one pick onto blue, as the point, though, it has already gone over to Nova.
I mean, this should be the opening, though. Water is able to find out Oyo, and suddenly they all fall apart, right? And they've got the two tanks, they've got the two healers as well. They're not going all in on some triple DPS. Crazy S does find Sakura back. That makes it harder for them to pressure the point. Water has to back out for a second, but he's alive. He can keep piling in the damage on the site. Oh, nearly got rescue in the rotation. Inhyok's going to do the honors of finishing that one off. And now with the barrage, this is the critical mass of kills. Global Esports Pantheon poised to take this cap off Nova.
Yeah, they're very much wanting to win that fight as well. Triple ultimates committed in there. Infrasight coming out super early. Bit of an early-ish kind of start from Kephrii there. Wasn't doing a lot of damage, and then suddenly he got the first ult of the game before any of the other 11 members. And now GE Pantheon have secured that point. Nova, though, about to come up on their own ultimates. The Infrasight response from Blue means he should have an advantage versus Kephrii.
This is where I feel Water could actually be the difference maker on the Pharaoh. Assuming Blue isn't able to get those shots, and you see that. Look at this wraparound. Inhyok on one side. And I like the counter there from Crazy S to keep on Water. It stops them finding that wraparound. Sakura trades out with Oyo, who had a Transcendence. That is very big. Again, makes that fight on the point. Nova nearly capped out a little bit harder. Soundberry now running out, has finished. Water dying again, unfortunately. GE Pantheon have struggled to get the kills, but they've weathered the storm in terms of ultimates that Nova have thrown at them, now losing Sakura's mech.
Kephrii's got to carry right now.
I think it is starting to fall apart on the point itself. You're right, Kephrii's going to have to carry, and again, still not getting the kills.
This is about over right now. We are seeing Global Esports is trying to slow things down. Nova will inevitably get this cap, and one of the quirks you have to start noticing is Water's been shut down multiple times now because there is both a Widow and a Diva on the Nova side. Water is forced to change. He's going to match the Brigida from one. He knows that it is pointless trying to play a Pharah into someone that can snipe you out. Now the sniper, Widow versus Widow, that's fine, but you do not want to be the Pharah receiving that scope.
And this is where I want to see Kephrii get a bit more into it, right? He's played very conservatively with the sightlines here. Blue's
this is close.
He's had easier sightlines because he's been going for a Pharah, but oh man, finding out Kephrii, that's a big shake-up of things. Once kind of alone on the point trying to deal with this.
That's a mines used as well, which is more ultimates committed. Nova have barely had to respond.
And there's a pop-up on tanks that Kephrii's going to have no hope of killing anytime fast. Does force out the Transcendence, which is a nice bit of something, but I mean, GE Pantheon need more than forcing out ultimates. They need kills, they need pressure on the point.
And this is where you see more players just going in the way. It's actually slightly evened up here.
He's down now. This could be the opportunity as they start to move in towards the point with Rish having been down. Yeah, they're committing hard, and I mean, they've got to, right? It's their last opportunity to do so, but they've lost Kephrii. They're only DPS. They lose Medic as well. They're just not able to convert these kills.
Last fight.
This is so unfortunate. We're not seeing what we need.
Kephrii's on Tracer.
He's got it. I mean, they need to get members onto the point. Backwall's going onto Soldier. They just got to die for this. Inhyok's still there. He can still stall it out, and he did find Oyo rally as well out. They're not out of this one just yet. Medic is in there. They throw the minefield in, but it needs to get kills. They've got one, and Nexus up against the wall, but Nexus is a primal rage to boot. Kephrii is ducking and weaving off to the side. Kephrii finds one. That's an opener. That's just something. Water does go down. Kephrii's found Crazy S as well. I mean,
there's a big problem
I think he can do it.
Back wall is still on a soldier.
Crazy
He's
is
got
off.
the damage, but they don't have the healing.
They've got them. They've managed to do it just barely, and Kephrii even finding his counterpart towards the end there.
Back wall has the suicide.
It's rough. They're in a really tight spot as well in terms of their picks. I wouldn't be surprised to see back will actually change as well. When
He must come back as a Zen, otherwise they will not be able to win properly without double healers. Especially now, you have Traces on the field. You have to be able to deal with the Traces. Not only that, I think Inhyok's pick on the Hammond is starting to really wear down on this team. Winston gives you a lot more value. The Hammond has just not done that much. Nova is still in the lead. But they have to fight this very carefully.
Oh, Water gets picked as again. Inhyok's coming up on another minefield though. Kephrii's gonna have to duck and dive for that health pack.
He's got a bomb.
Gotta get back onto the point. And the point got stolen by Nova. They're still fighting from behind. Kephrii's down as he comes onto the point for this one. And they did not get to commit Inhyok's minefield.
Oh.
They
No
had
remake.
I mean, they got the one, they got the fight, they got the rescue to keep it alive a little bit longer. They were never in a favorable position from there. That last fight loss isn't unsurprising, but Nova are looking stronger here. GE Pantheon still haven't quite turned on the gas.
And I think Nova Esports actually outcomped GE Pantheon there. The one Widowmaker pick from Blue, so important. Unless Kephrii completely shuts them down, Blue shuts Water down, or at least applies enough pressure onto Water that Water must change. He goes onto Brigida quite late. Then you also have this again, the Wrecking Ball, the Hammond. I just do not believe the Hammond had enough value for Global Esports to continue running him. Winston Nexus was doing so much more work. Craziest and him working together was absolutely phenomenal. You just cannot do that with this composition that GE Pantheon have. Now they're on the back foot. This is it. This is dire straits. This is so difficult now. Nova Esports, they're on match point here on Ilios.
And that's the fact of the matter. GE Pantheon this time, it's going to be a little bit harder for Water to get contested. Crazy S is going to have to do most of the work himself. Comes around the long flank by the windmill. Going to get the opening damage, and I like Kephrii on the Ash here as well.
It's that or McCree, you got a choice to make.
And it's paying off. They find Crazy S's mech. They've got the opening damage out. Just looking to find more kills. They found Oyo, nicely done by Water. And there's the thing, now that Water isn't being pressured in the skies all the time by Blue on a Widowmaker, he's able to get so much more work done. It is absolutely paying dividends. Nova do get the early cap, but they've lost this fight. And this will go back the way of GE Pantheon.
And honestly, the fundamental here, the philosophy here for Global Esports Pantheon is ride on the horse that got you here, and that horse looks like a sniper and a Pharaoh working together, and they are able to clean this through despite the cap through on Nova. They snuck that one in there. That's actually very important for Nova Esports because it's denying cap progress for GE Pantheon.
I mean, now that it's 20% worth of cap progress, that will really count for something. But the trade-off is they did feed a lot of ultimate charge over to GE Pantheon to the point where Backwell's been able to commit an entire nano boost, and they've still got a whole bunch of other ultimates charging up.
So here we go. Nova now going to change one onto McCree. This is going to allow him to deal with Water a little bit better and maybe take the fight to Kephrii on the Ash. The problem is here, like you said, there is not going to be a Valkyrie. There is a couple more ultimates for Global Esports that Nova do not have.
One's already taken some chunks. He actually has to be careful. He does need to contest Water, but he also can't be too out in the open. That's the barrage to come out. Nicely mitigated. They largely just kind of avoided it because of the little overhang there, the little wooden struts. Don't know what purpose they serve architecturally, but in any case, it saved the team. Oh, nice boot for
already going somewhat poorly for Global Esports.
Kephrii's low. Oyo does get traded out. Kephrii's going to throw out Bob here, gets the heals in as well, and the minefield from Inchuk on the point. This one pays off. What it does go down to one. He's got to do a lot more than just that. Cap back again from Nova.
And that's the thing, is the mines were out as well, but GE Pantheon were far too low. Kephrii was too low to contest, throws out the Bob just to try and get something on top of the point. Gets Riz back in though, fight's not over.
Yeah, and this is still now progress ticking up for Nova. Crazy S is a self-destruct to preserve the mech. Maybe nice catch with the bump up onto one, and immediately they convert other kills. Crazy S ended up off the side as well, and Water found rescue before going down. So suddenly GE Pantheon hit back hard. They do not want to lose that point any more times. Again, it's a shame to have lost out on all the extra percentage. This all of Nova's percentage feels like percentage GE Pantheon should have.
With the primal rage as well, they're just going to try and keep stalling this one out. They're still just getting away with so much.
Nexus is going to go down here. One's got a dead eye. I say Nexus is going to go down. It's taking them a long time to finalize these kills, and that is costing them. It's costing them very significantly. They're still having trouble dealing with one as well. Now channeling the Deadeye, doesn't get anything for it.
I think Nova Esports at this stage,
Oh,
maybe
nice
they should
force
have
on
reset already,
Crazy
but they're getting so much extra progress. It's hard to fault this.
This is getting a little bit wild as well. Going off the edge there, Crazy S, the bump from the self-destruct kept him in the well, and now again, DPS is opening up. They finished off one, that's the critical one. But look at how much percentage Nova have
Not
got.
only that, they get the percentage, and they get the ultimates to Sakura, Medic, and Backwall. 3 of them all had to use ultimates there. They got too desperate. They knew, look, this is taking too long. We are losing too much percentage points here. Nova are too far ahead. We must use something. Now, Nova also used some ults there, so they don't get away with this one scot-free. Jedi, you want to save to take down Medic and Water. Now you have to recharge that one up. Double support ultimates not quite available for Nova. They're still just struggling to get these ults in there before they push.
It's bizarre. It feels like GE Pantheon are winning the fight, but they're never ahead. Not in ultimates, not in cap percentage. And it's just bizarre. Water, oh, in a lot of trouble here. Gets out by the skin of his pearly whites.
Bob's in there as well.
And now they're going to be throwing out this rocket barrage as soon as they get the opportunity. Finds Restia. Will not finish him off that quickly. In fact, will not finish him off at all. They find Nexus though. Kephrii starting to pop off. And Water staying alive so critically. Takes a long time for him to go down. Now with the sound barrier having run out. Kephrii.
Nearly
Kephrii's
overtime.
getting aggressive. One goes down. This could be what they needed. They get the late res on Water as well. And finally, it's a fight that they've won. No sneak caps through. No overforced ultimates. No surprises out of Nova, and Kephrii popping off. Feels like status quo restored. We are tied up 1-1 on Ilios, and it all comes down to ruins.
And 84% as well is what Nova get to sort of take away from Global Esports, and it feels like they almost stole that cap percentage away. First of all, they got that very early 20% that GE Panther just kind of gifted to them, and Nova Esports at no stage did I feel like they properly did a good reset while maintaining some sort of comeback mechanics, because like you said, it feels like they're losing because they kept feeding members in to continue the cap progress while they got 84. They did get some ultimates out, but they didn't save any ultimates. That is a big issue. We're actually going to go right down to the wire.
Tough.
Just like our previous quarterfinal, it is absolutely so tight, and I cannot tell you who's going to win this. Not just yet. Water and Kephrii, though, going to play what they know how to play. Nova Esports probably going to change Nexus onto Winston when they realize what they're up against.
Yeah, this is a tough one as well. You don't have that flat counter to Water like you've had previously. However, this is why we haven't seen much Sniper on Ruins lately. Goats. Nova are going to play a straight Goats with the Reinhardt in. This is going to be tough.
If Global Esports Pantheon can't win with this, they're probably not going to win at all. Again, with this composition, with these players, they're not going to change to their own goats. GE Pantheon must win with DPS members.
They found blue. That's a big opening. That's the thing. They just need to frag out with Kephrii and Water against the goats. A tough ask if I ever heard one. This is exactly what made goats so dominant in the meta. The fact that it could beat out team comps like this. But GE Pantheon are winning this fight. They are eking out the kills, and Nova again nearly stole the cap, but this time not quite. GE Pantheon secure it.
That's going to make a big difference here because GE Pantheon are not going to be 20% down on cap like they were previously. Nova Esports are going to predictably make this big adaptation. They must. They have to. It has to happen. And Blue wants to take the fight back to Kephrii. Like I said, if he's going to go down, he's going to go down swinging.
Oh, sick one from Kephrii. The tightest little sightline, and knows exactly when Blue's coming as well. Quick ping to sponge that one again, showing Blue who's boss. Nicely handled, and now Nova, they have made the change, but they are still very far behind. Just look at the ultimates.
So what you do have to consider here is that Water has to be very careful. Now we're going back in a sort of position where Blue, if he doesn't get massively shut down, and he has died once to Kephrii, he is going to do a lot of work against Water. Even if he doesn't kill him, just needs to pressure him out. He's getting triple value off of one pick. Very important. But 40% is gone, and a lot of ultimates online for Pantheon.
It's going to be the Rocket Barrage out almost all onto
Great
Nexus,
hack.
and he just gets completely, it's nullified, it's absorbed. He didn't even get through all of the shielding. And now, like you said, hacked out as well. It's going to be on the point in Hyok, throwing out the minefield. Out of the net goes Sakura, has to self-destruct to preserve it. That self-destruct is good, it zones members out. Sakura will remech, but without Kephrii, they're relying only on Water, who does not have medic in the pocket. Blue is still a threat here as well, and one's able to finish off Water. Now it's only Kephrii coming out in the respawn. Does feel like Nova have done well in this fight in dealing with the DPS.
They got a cap though.
But that's the thing, and they've actually not had the critical mass of numbers at any junction.
By the way,
it's
here comes the EMP.
inverse of what we saw on Well, but that EMP, that sound barrier out, if they can get the kills here, they should be able to secure a cap off the back of it, and there are those kills. 83, 84, maybe up to 90% total will be what GE Pantheon will get. That is all they will get for the time
So I
being.
do want to mention that was pretty expensive. The fact that Global Esports were able to get those ults out of Nova is a pretty big deal. Now comes the place where can Nova hold on to this, much like we saw on Lijiang Tower. Don't be surprised. We have seen G Pantheon into the lead and then somehow still lose. So Nova Esports, it's certainly not over. They need to keep pressuring out both Kephrii and Water, deal with the tanks, then they can still win.
Oh, Illios so low. Barely staying alive on that one. That was absurdly low health. Getting a tiny bit of shield was absolutely massive for him. G Pantheon now just resetting for a moment. They're looking for the frags. Water soon to be coming up on a rocket barrage.
And he's such an important member as well. He hasn't had a lot
low.
of success.
Blue's
This
down
is why he probably has to change
Straight back.
pretty soon.
They could res him if he's in a favorable position, but look at this Nova. They're just playing guard with the tanks. They don't want to let that res go through. They know that there is probably a rocket barrage. He's going to have to come back the slow way, and that self-destruct as well just keeps GE Pantheon at bay.
So this is where Water, if he doesn't get value off this barrage, he has to basically swap off heroes. Sakura going down is very bad news as well. EMP nearly online. One has been charging this one up slowly, and Nova, if they can win with the EMP, they'll be able to put themselves in a position to then also be able to play onto the 99% overtime. Water has died after using barrage again. Got nothing on the barrage. He probably changes here. If he doesn't, it's probably bad news.
Medic committing that ultimate as well, not getting anything. That's a res though committed. Sound barrier in, EMP out.
Water's down again.
Stun to come through. This has to be a fast reset. They do find rest here. And Blue though, Kephrii's still in this one. Don't count it out. Self-destruct on from Sakura. Doesn't get kills. Does get back in the mech, but look at that. The damage is already done. They have to reset fast. 85%. They can't afford to lose anyone else here. Sakura will not get hacked out here.
Very important. 90% is what we are dealing with. Kephrii's even going to come back onto an Ash shell. This is at the final fight. Either team can take this. The team that wins this fight probably wins the entire match.
And there is only one ultimate coming up for GE Pantheon. It's not even there just yet, and it's a nano boost. Crazy S have already found Medic. He's out of the picture. Sakura's out of the mech. Water, he's on the Genji, the greatest hits of GE Pantheon, but he's already taken down.
EMP available.
Kephrii's got a frag out. He's not able to do so just so yet. Sakura's already down. Inhyuk solo tanking. Medic trying to rejoin the fray. Now it's all on Kephrii. He gets Blue. He's not going to be able to get the tanks. Medic's going to try and stall. They have no res. They have nothing left in the tank. And the roads for Global Esports Pantheon, they will not establish aforementioned deification. Nova, second upset of the night, will go to the semifinals.
And season 3 of